Hello and welcome to the Proper Scoundrels podcast.
We're prodding your mind.
Yes,
How are you today?
man, I'm good. Um, just been a busy day. I've been on my tractor all day and been doing things. It's always a good day when you're out on the land working.
Hell yeah. I have been doing laundry all day because I'm a house bitch.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Well, I've got one of those things that you put your foot on in front of the couch.
Hmm.
It's not an ottoman. It's like a wooden thing, and you can put
Hmm.
stuff inside of it. And so I've always kept some blankets and another thing in there. And it's first of the month, so you got to change things out so the springs don't catch a memory. And there was like some rat droppings in there, and I was like, "There's no food in here." Like of all the places in the house, there's no food there. I don't know why they're getting in there. It can't be comfortable or warm. It's got there's more warmer places, so I had to take all those blankets out and wash them, and in addition to like my normal weekly laundry and have to food prep and get all my rice cooked and just a house bitch.
Yeah. So on my uh on my rotations at work, when I'm on rotation for a certain amount of time, at the end of it, I have my 7 days. Right. So I'll take all my bed clothes home and I'll wash them. So they get about 2 weeks worth of use out of me, and I'll wash them
I wash my bedclothes every week.
every week.
Usually, yeah, usually on Saturday because Sunday's the day that I do all the other laundry. Um, but yeah, I do that every Saturday. So, but I wonder like when I was in that world, um, because like even my last post, I was only working 12-hour shifts, but I was working them at night and spending most of that night in a recliner. And so I had like my blanket and my pillow and stuff like that. And I, there's no telling how long it went.
Did when you used to work at the firehouse, would people bring clothes from home and wash them in the wash machines?
Of course they would.
So I
Certain,
was,
there's a certain guy that does that. And every fire station
yeah,
has one, and he's usually got a lot of girlfriends that come by to visit, and he usually comes in a little tired and just and it's just always him, and like he's always trying to be sneaky about it.
yeah,
Like he waits till that lull in the afternoon and he goes out to the car and he brings it in, and sometimes he'll wait till late at night to do it. And I'm like, I gotta wash all the napkins and the aprons and stuff. Like, you can't take up the washing machine and leave the house dirty. What the hell?
yeah. We used to have a lieutenant. He would do that stuff, and he'd bring his wife's clothes from home, and like he was kind of ridiculous because if you in the morning, like he wasn't like sneaky about it at all. In the morning, he went right to his bedroom. He would grab his laundry basket and down those stairs he would go. And it's like, dude, I know you don't have that many clothes. Like I watch you. You only have one pair of clothes a day.
Yeah. And it's like it, if you come back from a call and you need to decon and somebody else's underwear and bras are in there, it's like, really? Like
Yeah.
this is official business, and I got to sit here and pull out your draws from home and stuff. Like, I guess your
Hmm.
draws at work aren't really any different, but I've got to wait on you to come get all your clothes out of the way. It's like, quit being a dick.
Yeah. I hated that shit.
Yeah. I just and like I hate that communal situation where there's an expectation that everybody's going to be polite and appropriate, but then there's always somebody who isn't.
Hmm.
And it's just like I don't know. I'm so glad that I'm not in that kind of situation anymore.
I don't know, man. I always enjoyed it. Like when I had the house though, you know, and I was the OIC. Um, that's a conversation I had. Like the rules I set up was because the wash machine was so far away from the bunk room. I'm like, here's the deal: from 8 in the morning until 6 at nighttime. If you wash clothes, you're washing fire department stuff. After that, I don't care what you do because it's your time after that, you know? Like, I don't care if you're washing clothes from home. I didn't care. But don't you put shit in there from that little block unless it's your clothes that you're wearing, you know?
So it was a little bit different at your station because there was a lot fewer people.
Yeah, I only had 3 dudes. Like, it was an engine company, you know?
Yeah.
At the most
So
4.
yeah. So we had a truck, ambulance, a battalion chief. Sometimes we had a safety officer that bunked with us. I mean, it's just on a
And you got one
typical
wash
day.
machine.
Yeah, on a typical day, 7 people in the house. And, you know, that one guy um, is going to come in, and especially at night when you're trying to, recover the house from today and get it ready to pass off tomorrow. And now, he's like got his Luck of the Irish boxer spinning around in there and his polo shirts and shit. And
Yeah.
yeah, our guy one day, like he came in and he was wearing his street clothes and it had this damn like from belly button to tit, like polo horse on it. And I looked him dead in his face. I was like, man, is that a polo shirt? And everybody was like, damn, dude. It's like we don't know if you're cracking on him. We're just so confused. Because I can be so deadpan sometimes, and it was like, and he really didn't know how to take it. He was like, "Yeah, I got it at Belt." I was like, "Man, that's cool." Not a fire department shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What were some other things that people would get a little too comfortable
Oh,
at the
man.
station?
Trying to think. Like that was my pet peeve. I've never seen anybody like wash dishes from home. Have you seen that?
No,
Okay.
no. Well, I mean, unless they, brought food from home. Um, One thing that used to always bother me, uh, so like if I was at a station where time would allow, a lot of times I would cook breakfast in the morning because it's one of the 5 most important meals of the day, and it was just kind of cool to wake up and have breakfast.
Yeah.
And but even if we didn't cook breakfast, people have come in, have coffee, do whatever, and they never wanted to put the dishes into the dishwasher. Like you had to wash
Mm.
them between, like 6:55 and 7 a.m. or 8. I can't remember what time we swapped, but and I'm like, why? It's like it's not just our coffee cups; it's the oncoming crew as well. Like, and why are we hand washing the dishes and putting them into the very expensive dish strainer? Why don't we just put them into the dishwasher and
It's
just turn
weird
it
how
on?
that works.
So it does not make any sense for me to use the dishwasher at all. On the average day, I've got like 2 Pyrex bowls. That's it.
Hmm.
And and eating utensils. That's all I have. So why would I? One, why would I just put dirty dishes in there for a week to let them get to the point where there's enough dishes in there to justify washing them?
Mm-hmm.
So I just, I have a very expensive dish strainer. But one day I used it and it leaked, and I came home and there was water all the way out into the dining place.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't really say it's a dining room, but it's a room outside that door.
Yeah. We had this probie, and like one of our big things was um you eat, you put everything in the dishwasher, but when you wake up in the morning, you pull everything from the dishwasher, put it back in the cabinets for the oncoming shift, right?
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't do that. Like, hey, dude, you need to go ahead and put the dishwasher up. All right, man, I'll get to it. He's like, yeah, I have a hard time waking up, and I just get behind. And we're like, you know what? I'm tired of making you stay after work to clean up the house. So what we finally did is I set my alarm, and we had a run in the middle of the night, and I come back and it was like 4 a.m. or something like that. And he's sound asleep, and I was like, you know what? Now's a great time to unload that dishwasher. So I woke him up and I was like, hey, let's get that dishwasher cleaned up. You can go back to bed. And never had a problem again.
I had a rookie who he was just a little too proud. He was a little too smart. We called him a 330. 3 months on the department, 30 years experience.
Yep.
And he had a story for everything. He knew things that we didn't know. Another company called him Google. and and I thought it's really appropriate because he literally would. He would like Google shit that you were talking about and read Google results off to you. But I'm like, we do have a world of information sitting in our pocket at all times. Why do we question anything at all? But he had a bad habit of only doing the things that he felt like were in his wheelhouse to do. And I'm like, hey, you're the rookie. You put the flag out. You bring the flag in. Like, you can interrupt anybody in this firehouse to help you fold the flag. But when the flag comes in, if it is dry, it is folded and it is displayed on the mantle because we had a fireplace.
Hmm.
A little odd for a fire station, but we were also in a castle. So,
That's super cool.
yeah. So one day I was out on a call and I came back and it's dark and Old Glory's just still sitting up there all by herself. So I came in and I got one of the flashlights off the truck and I went out there and I was like, here you go, Nathan. Go out there and hold this light on Glory for the amount of time you left her out after dark.
No shit.
And I went upstairs and took a picture of him. I might put it up here somewhere just to show. I think it might have been snowing as well. And about that time, battalion chief comes riding by.
Yes.
And he's like,
Yes.
and so this is early on. So I had just gotten off rookie, so the rookie's mine.
Yeah.
And so Chief's like, why is your rookie standing out in the yard with a flashlight? And I was like, well, the flag's out there. I mean, where else would he be?
Yeah.
Can't leave a flag up after dark without it being directly lit. It's like, that's a federal law.
Yes.
Literally the flag code of the United States. And he's like, go get your. I'm like, yes, sir. Made it so.
Legend. That's legendary.
Yes. But he there I had his name was Nathan. I won't go much further than that, but I had Nathan's rule for Camelot. And it was posted up in the bathroom. It was posted up in the kitchen. And from time to time, I'd be like, Nathan, what's rule 7? It's like, I am, you. So this is my problem with new people and immigration. And give me a little bit of room. I'm telling you, I'm serious. So wherever you are, whether it be in your country, in your work environment, in your friend group, there is a culture that exists there. And you remain there because you like that culture. Other people probably want to come into there because they like that culture. But if they come in and try and change that culture, that's now an invasion. That's an attack on who I am as a person.
Yes.
And it's like, don't fuck with my First Amendment. If you fuck with my First Amendment, I might use my Second Amendment.
Build those walls.
I'm like, I will build a bulldozer. I'll build a killdozer.
Yeah, armor plate that thing up.
Fuck yeah, I'll learn how to weld. I ain't got to JB weld that shit. Fucking duct tape and 550 cord. I don't give a fuck. I know how it's going to end anyway. But yeah, so don't come into a place thinking that it's going to change for you. Because as you come into it, as you were accepted in, yes, there will be some homogenizing where now our culture is expanded a little bit because of what you brought into it. But don't come in like, oh, we're going to have to start following Sharia law because we've got all these Sharia people here. I'm like, fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Go toss yourself into Lake Superior or something. Fucking go away.
Lake Superior.
Yeah, well, that's where a lot of them live. It's up by the lake. So
about the Snow Mexicans.
Yeah, like it's weird to me because they've created entire enclaves within American society, and it's oh, who's that stupid congresswoman? She's always with her friend, the one from Somalia.
Oh, I'm not tracking that one.
Yeah, you are. You've seen her all the time. She's always.
Yeah, I don't know her name. That's the thing.
I do know her name, and I guess it's just appropriate that I'm not saying it because I just despise her so much, as well as AOC. But I'm just like, if it's so good in your country, why are you here? If you're gonna why, like, you were like, oh wow, it really sucks here. Look at the culture over there. I want to go there, but when I get there, I want to change it to where it's gonna be just like here. And it's like, well, you're living in a fucking dirt shack with nothing, and people are coming around and treating you like crap. It's like, no. We may have our problems, but we're still better than you.
I can't say this woman's name. It's something Omar.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it is.
LLHAN.
Yeah. LL, that's a Y sound.
Yeah.
Like a llama.
Maybe. Sure.
Yeah, LL is Y in Spanish.
I don't speak Spanish. I don't know.
Yeah. Is it LL or IL? Because if it's a capital I and a lowercase L, it would look like LL.
Maybe.
So maybe it's like LL Cool J Omar.
Yeah, LL Cool J Omar. I love this.
Yeah, but actually, I kind of like LL Cool J, so I don't want to.
I do. We can't disrespect the man.
Yeah, I don't want to mix him into all that bullshit. Fucking politicians.
Speaking about fucking politicians.
Yeah.
What's up with
I patch McCain.
Yeah, what's up with old Dan Crenshaw, man?
All right. So what we are seeing in Dan Crenshaw, that devolvement, that is exactly how bad I was getting at a point in time in my life. Like at the time that I was leaving the fire department, I think I was that bad. I think I was that insufferable.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was a shitbag, man. I was an absolute, but it was all related to my drinking, as
Uh,
I think his is.
you know, I don't know if I can equate it to his drinking. I think he's just a snake in general, you know? Because, like, looking back at politics, like 7, 8 years ago, he was doing some dumb shit back then, too. Like, red flag laws, he supported that. And now he's doubling back saying, oh, I never did. Yes, you did.
Yeah, it's like it's like him saying that he didn't work to keep the seal in jail.
Eddie Gallagher, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I kept wanting to say Sean Ryan, and I was like, no, that's not him.
No, definitely not. Sean hasn't been in jail that I know of.
Yeah.
Um, no, so like there's a lot of things, and I think just full disclaimer, I think it's great that he was Navy SEAL. You know, he gave something for this country. You know, his eye, for example. You know, he's done some things, right? Won't take anything away from him. I just disagree with how he is now. You know, that's my thing.
Well, so here's my thing. Like I don't follow him. I don't like him. I think when he was young in politics, he would say a lot of controversial things and he would take a lot of controversial stances, which made him seem like an up and comer. But here recently, every time I see him, I'm like, this dude is an absolute shitbag. Like there's nothing redeemable about him. There's nothing at all that's um it's just so bad. So he was on an interview with it was an American outlet, and he was begging for a raise, and he was like, well, Congress hasn't had a raise in 8 years and all this other bullshit. He's like, not even a cola. And I'm like, you asshole. It's like you were representing Texas and you were making like $150,000 a year in Congress. The average median household income in Texas is $38,000. I looked.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I looked today to have this conversation. I looked because I was like, I wonder, you know, what, you know, what is the average person in his state that he represents making? And it's less than $40,000. And he's sitting here bitching about a COLA allowance. It's like, I think that anybody in Congress, um, anybody in federal politics should be paid what the state's median income is.
Hmm.
So if you're Mississippi, then you're making $32,000 a year. Maybe do well for your state, get some fucking uh, industry or something in there.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. Um, I was trying to look back and try to find the tweet that Crenshaw made speaking about his drinking. Like, I don't know that he's an alcoholic, but there is speculations. And he had this tweet that was like, it went out in the middle of the night, and you can tell that he is intoxicated, trying to write this thing down, and then it gets deleted the next day. You know, I wish I could have found that.
When you're getting called out by Marjorie Taylor Greene, when there's somebody who's so fucking crazy that she's like the profile picture for wall Martians. I mean, it's like, are you for real? Like, I guess both parties have to have one, and I mean, granted, the Democrat Party has a bunch, but the Republican Party, they've got crazy people like Dan Crenshaw and like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and there's a couple of other ones in there as well. But when Marjorie Taylor Greene is calling you out, it's like, oh man, where's your life going?
Yeah, and I try not to listen to the anti-hero podcast. I but they did a really good um interview with Crenshaw the other day, and like it really exposes the kind of dude he is. Because like they were not holding bunches on him, like they were swinging, and Crenshaw just kept digging himself in a deep ass hole, and he was going back on what he said. Like there's, especially with Eddie Gallagher and stuff, like Eddie Gallagher was wrongly accused of war crimes for something that happened in shit, what's the name of that place in Afghanistan? Mosul.
Hmm.
Was it Mosul? That's in
Yeah.
Iraq, right? Anyway,
Um,
it happened in Mosul, one of their operations over there, and Gallagher was placed in prison, and his brother went to Crenshaw like, "Hey, dude, you're a member of the SEAL teams, or was a member of the SEAL teams. Um, this is what they're doing to Eddie. Let's at least try to do something to get him out." And Crenshaw didn't do anything. Matter of fact, there's reports that he was going to other congressmen and telling them that dude's guilty. We need to um, leave him in jail and stuff like that. And what was happening to Eddie is he wasn't getting a fair trial at all, and that's all he wanted. It's like, I just want a fair trial.
so I did listen to that interview, and I really was like, I can see what's happening here with Crenshaw, and he doesn't want to admit it. Uh, like, hopefully, the people of Texas are like, no, dude, we're done with you. But so he, once he started talking about Eddie Gallagher, other people that he wanted to like, he wanted those other people to like him, told him that he should stop trying to get any kind of clemency for Eddie Gallagher, and that he should get, he should make like a consolation. So it still looks like he did something for him, but he also looks like he's trying to do the right thing. Um, and that's what he did. He wrote a secondary letter, like the family had a petition um, that they wanted him to sign on with, and he didn't. And he did a secondary letter so that he could be like, oh, I'm a good guy. I tried to help, and it's like, no, you fucking did not. And Antihero really did a good job. They said, why didn't you just sign the letter, even if it was
Yeah,
going to do no good? That's all they wanted from you. They didn't want you to write your own letter. They just wanted you to sign their letter.
and he kept saying, I wasn't going to sign it because I just want to do the right thing." What's wrong about that?
Yeah, like, you're already a fucking idiot that nobody trusts, and that threatened a United States citizen, and while you were in a foreign country. Now, they fucking railroaded the Dixie chick lady for doing that.
She threatened.
Oh, she didn't threaten anybody. She made some comments about George Bush or somebody like that.
Uh,
But she was in Europe at the time, and they were like, "Oh, that's treasonous." And it's like, that's a Dixie chick. It's like the cowboy took her away. You know, it's like, settle down. She does not have that big of a voice in politics. She's doing what every celebrity does, and they make stupid comments and they get popular for a little while. And, Jack Black did it with the whole uh, election thing here recently, and now he's looking like a
Taylor
fucking idiot.
Swift.
Yeah, Taylor Swift. Well, nobody really listens to Taylor Swift that much. I mean, they listen to her music, but nobody's listening to what she has to say,
I
except
don't know, man. Like, I think that's almost like a cult, the way they are. Like, they are all about some Taylor. It's like the Swifties, like, they worship that woman.
um, yes. And there's been pop icons throughout the years that have always been that way. Think about the Beatles. You'd have people
Oh, yeah.
rioting just to see the Beatles. And, they John Lennon became a very political minded person, and his voice carried a weight to a lot of people. But he didn't really change any policy. He just got himself shot. And, you know, um, so a lot of these personalities, yeah, let them beat their drum. Like Madonna's a good example of it. She's always coming up with some wild uh, cause to be a part of, and it's just like, let go. It's like you're at your age, just sit down. You're gonna break a hip. Um, you know, get somewhere. Nobody, you're not relevant anymore. There's all of my generation will still come to your old lady concerts, but you are not shocking anybody. It's like when you look at all the antics of Madonna and then compare them to oh shoot, what's the black female rapper that was so raunchy? Lil Kim.
So Little Kim or Cardi B?
Oh, I think Cardi B is even newer than Lil Kim.
Okay.
So Little Kim was um she was in that video where I can't remember, but like not George Carlin, George Funk. I can't remember. I can see the video. It had Tommy Lee and all these other people in it. It was just all about raunchiness. Um, but yeah, so I'm just like, you're nothing now. Just move on. Speaking of entertainers who have become political,
Uh,
Vladimir Zelensky.
Oh man, that dude's a freaking tool.
Yeah, so he was a comedian in Ukraine,
Is that what he
and
was?
yeah, did you not know this?
No, had no clue.
Yeah, so think like if Ashton Kutcher became president.
Oh man,
Yeah. So just he was a comedian on a weekly program and got into politics and ran and won, and now he's president of Ukraine. And he pissed off Papa Trump and got kicked out the White House.
really bad. And then he come back the next day. So
No, no, he hasn't been back. He's gone.
yeah, he has.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, he's been back.
No, 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 no.
Yes, yes,
No,
yes, yes.
he went to Europe to try and get Europe to help him.
He was seen back wearing a suit and stuff because he wanted to renegotiate the deal for the Earth rights.
The mineral rights.
It was,
So
they called it Earth something.
rare earth mineral rights.
Yeah, there it is.
Um, so here's kind of the overview of all this. Uh, Donald Trump was like, "Hey, if we're going to continue to help you, we need some money back because we have sent you way too much money, too much of the American taxpayers' money, and if we're going to continue to do this, we need some of that money back. So we want some mineral rights." And it should have just been hey, thank you for helping. But he was like, they were like, let's get to talks about the ceasefire. And he was like, how can we have a ceasefire when Russia is still killing all these people? And JD Vance jumped in and was like, you might want to check your tune. Paraphrasing a little bit, I'm promising. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's like, you might want to check the attitude there, partner, because this ain't the way to talk when you're up into our house. And he was absolutely indignant and would refuse to commit to a ceasefire. It is in his mind, it appears to me, and I seem to know a little bit about this stuff, but it seems to me in his mind, he thought he could come over here and negotiate a partnership to get us to fight alongside him against Russia. And Trump was like, no, you need to leave. But then he left. Then Trump left, and he went to Florida for a MAGA event.
Hmm.
So yeah, so Zelensky was pretty much pushed out of the White House, and then he jetted over to Europe for talks with European leaders, and it's really causing a stink. But it still stands that uh, Trump was like, no, no, I'm not committing to this. There's nothing to negotiate here. If you would not have had our help 3 years ago, this war would have ended in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And he's wanting to bark and bite and all this other bullshit. And it's like Trump's like, nope, nope, not having it.
Yeah, like the whole Ukraine thing, like we shouldn't have been dealing with that in the first place. Personal opinion. And if you look at Zelensky and like look at prior to the conflict with Russia, Ukraine has always been the little bastard that's out there that's just like poking the side of the big bear. And the people of Ukraine was trying to get Zelensky out of power way before this Russia stuff happened. And then all of a sudden Russia happened. And now we're like, oh, woe is me. I need some help and money from the US and all these other partners. And Zelensky stays in power because there's an active conflict. They've been trying to get rid of that dude for years.
Yeah. So it Ukraine is an absolute mess. Um, Russia does not need to control Ukraine, but Zelensky, while he was a scrappy little hero there for a little while, now he's just, it's like, no, you can't, you don't have any kind of pull. Like, you're not a NATO country. When you were invited into NATO, you said no. And I think that was more Ukraine than it was Zelensky. I don't think Zelensky was president then. Now that they want in, they can't get in because they're in an active conflict. It's like, and if he were to sign a peace treaty with Russia, uh, the conflict would end, but so would like he would lose anything that he's already lost to Putin. So like it just now is Russia. So it's a weird situation all around. But I'm just like you really thought that you would come here and you would get commitments of US troops to help you fight? Like, are you fucking stupid? Like, weird.
Yeah, like that whole dude is just a freaking clown, man. Like, do you remember when the conflict first started and there's like videos of him running around with body armor on and everybody else is getting out of there and but our leader is staying. Like there was
Yeah.
nothing happening around him. Like there was nothing happening.
Like
Like
that's what I mean. Like at the beginning, he seemed like a scrappy little fighter, and there was loyalty, and so it made him a media darling for certain people. But when Obama realizes you're not worthy of getting American help, you know, Obama was like, "Here's some blankets, keep your people warm." It's like, this is the standard aid package. Here you go. You get nothing else. Here, you can have some old wool blankets that the army doesn't use anymore, and give those to your folks and tell them to hunker down.
yeah, that whole situation, man. I can't stop yawning.
It's about that time.
Almost like I've been up all day.
I know. I got up at 5. I think I was out of the house by 6. Went and did some just freestyle gym, and really looking forward to going to the gym tomorrow and working with my new heavyweights.
Who? I forgot to
Heavyweights.
look and see what you did today.
Oh, I don't even think I don't think I put
There was
anything down
something on
today.
there. I got a notification saying there was something on there. I just didn't look at it.
Oh, probably just me updating my days.
Yeah, the daily prayer.
Yeah. Yeah, I today literally I did some yoga. I did some work on handstands. Did some more of the L-sit progressions. I really
Like
didn't
on.
do much else of anything. And I didn't put down any kind of workout. Like I don't think that I grabbed any weights at all. So I was there just long enough to be like, yes, got my day in, and ah! Then I went and bought some food, bought some mason jars so I can make protein shakes
Okay.
because shaker bottles are made out of plastic
Yeah.
and they'll start smelling and tasting like protein powders, but glass doesn't do that.
So I've got a shaker bottle. It's plastic, but I really like it. It's called Hilo Mix.
Mm.
I've never had a shaker bottle that I can put protein powder in, and one, it doesn't smell. It gets a little moldy, so wash it regularly, but it doesn't smell, and it completely mixes everything. Like
Hmm.
normally with the other ones, the standard ones, I would drink it and be kind of clumpy, but this one, nope, it's great.
I mix my protein with water. I know
I do
that
too.
sounds, yeah. So it does mix better that way. Uh, if you mix it with milk, it's like it cakes,
Yep.
gets kind of cakes up. I like it with milk, but you know, but yeah, I just put it in a 16-ounce mason jar and just
Shake the shit out of it.
yeah. Because I was keeping up with my macros. I'm nowhere near my protein macros.
That's the big one.
Yeah, I am like I have been. So I think the calculator has me at like 180 right now,
Okay.
and I've been hitting like 110.
Ooh. Yeah,
Yeah,
way off.
yeah. Like one day I was only at like 79, and I'm like, how in the hell I'm
What
not
you
doing?
eat? You eat like chicken, right?
Yeah. So yeah, like that week I had chicken bowls. But like in the morning, like this has got to be one of the worst times because um, so I wake up, I go to the gym, I work out, I shower, I go to work. So it's a good, 3 hour window from now you have me doing it. 3 hour window from waking up to first meal, which
Mhm.
is really optimal. Um, you know, but uh, my first meal is at work, so I'm really limited as to what I can have.
Mm.
So, so a lot of times it's like a Jimmy Dean sausage, egg, and cheese croissant.
Yeah, and you're probably only getting like maybe 10 grams of protein with that.
13.
Close.
Yeah, you were really close. 13 grams. Um, I have started doing this yogurt that's 25 grams with granola that's 13 grams.
Yep.
Um, but I'm still like I'm not getting the macros right because my body fat has gone up with my weight, and I'm like, well, and I don't think that it has. I think that the way that my body fat is being calculated is just through math. I don't think that it's actually sending um, impedance through my body like it says that it does.
Yeah.
Because I have one of those fancy scales, but I don't think it's doing that because I am not as mushroomy as
Yeah.
I used to be. Like when I look at myself, I'm like, I can see that I am bigger. I can see that I weigh more, but I'm not as curvy on the outsides as I used to be. So I don't think it's altogether right, but I'm just like, man, I've got to get that protein up because I feel like I could be growing a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I went and bought some protein powder and some mason jars and
What kind of protein powder did you get?
muscle milk, monster milk, which one? What is that called? It
There's
was
so
on
much
sale.
better stuff. There's so much
Like,
better stuff.
what is better? Tell me.
I'll send you some links to it. Like when I look at protein, one, muscle milk's okay, but I look at like whey isolate. I really like whey isolate. I think that is the best protein you can get. But I'm trying to think of the name of this brand. Hang tight. Do you have a 5-star
Target?
nutrition there for you?
No.
Yes, you do. You got to. I know there's one in a city that's close to you that I go to once a year.
I don't know. I go to Target and they have a nutrition aisle.
That's your problem. Get out of Target.
And they had muscle milk protein that I think is whey.
Get rid of that shit.
I am. I'm going to put it in my mouth and it's going to come out my butthole and my pee hole.
Your pee hole.
I mean, I'm drinking it. This is the problem with protein supplements and calorie supplements. To drink calories, you do not maintain as many of those calories as if you eat them. So a lot of people forever, they're like, oh, well, if you eat a pound of bacon and a pound of ice cream, you are going to get more calories out of the pound of bacon, not to mention you're probably going to have a heart attack from all the sodium, than you will from the ice cream, because the ice cream is going to move a lot faster through your intestinal system. So you will have much less absorption from that liquid, even though it's frozen, than you would from that solid food that's getting broken down and absorbed in the gastrointestinal tract. So if you drink a Monster Milk protein shake that says you're consuming 50 grams of protein, you are probably absorbing somewhere in the 7 to 12 range of it, because it's moving on through, because there's nothing to break down. It's just fluid. It's going into your bloodstream and getting shot out through your kidneys. So it's just not happening. Fluids move faster through your body than foods do. That's why, drinking a medicine will affect you faster than swallowing a pill. So,
Yep.
To get all of the macros that I need, especially those protein macros, because I'm really not as concerned about the other ones. I've got to supplement the protein, and to supplement it, I have got to want it. Well, this is it.
No, that's what you got.
I saw this at the Publix, not at the Publix,
The Target.
at the Target. Yeah, the Bio, NutraBio. What is this? 21 grams of protein? No, I don't want to pop up. Oh, it's 25 grams of protein. The Monster Milk is 50.
Your body can't take that much at one time.
It can't take the 25.
Yes, it can.
Not in a fluid.
It absolutely can.
Not in a fluid.
Yes.
If you ate a can of tuna, which has 25 grams of protein, you will absorb more protein from eating that can of tuna than you will from drinking this drink. I just went on a tangent about that and taught half of the subscribers.
Half of those subscribers.
The other half already knew. They already knew. Like tonight, I am having chicken wings. When we log off of here, I am making chicken wings because protein. That's all I'm having is chicken wings, sweet chili chicken wings. They are marinating as we speak.
So I
And,
just sent you a link to a place that's right down the road from you, about an hour ride. They got a website, but like those dudes, it's an hour ride for you, right?
Yeah. I just don't know why I would go that far.
Well, I'm just saying they're great. So when I was visiting that place a couple years ago, I stopped in there because I had forgot some stuff at the house, and
Yeah.
they were just so nice to me, and it reminds me of the place back home that I get all my stuff from. And they were just
Yeah.
really nice to me, but they're more of like a big place. So every time I go and visit that city, I will stop in there every time because they were really cool to me.
Yeah.
I got a meal replacement from them called Anabolic Warfare, and I was using that early in the mornings when I was going to work, and it did good until I ran out of it.
Well, I mean, they've got a website. You'll probably ship it to you.
They will.
I mean, that place that you and I like up there around your house. I mean, it's they'd ship stuff to me, but
Did you ever buy from them?
yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. So they had my personal email address and they were like,
Oh,
you're the only person whose email address doesn't have numbers in it.
really?
Yeah, I've had it that long. You know, it's really crazy. I've seen stuff about this on like the meme space, where like, you know, at work, your best friend might be old enough to be your parent or your grandparent and stuff like that. And there are other activities like that as well. Like I ride motorcycles, and some of the people that I ride motorcycles with are super young, like younger than you.
Hmm.
Um, and like there was a guy that I was riding with yesterday who's right around your age. And but I didn't realize it. And you know, so first of all, it's very possible when you ride motorcycles to never see the face of the person that you're riding with.
Hmm.
You might just be in helmet the whole time. And one of the guys that I've been riding with up here, that's like we rode together 4 or 5 times before we ever stopped and had any reason to take our helmets off. So I was like, oh, like, do you have a license? It's like, holy shit, are you still in high school? Like, I don't need to hang out with you. But he just looks young. He's absolutely legal. Um, but there are kids around here that are riding motorcycles that are probably 15 years old. So I think you can ride a motorcycle at 15.
Man, I remember being in high school and people pulling up to high school driving motorcycles.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's well, I know some states have a moped license that that start I'm pretty sure it's 15. And then there's oh, you know what? There might be some states where it's even 14.
But isn't moped license only if they're above a certain CC?
Below a certain CC. Like 125 CC or less.
Then
So
you
a
have to have a
Grom.
license? I thought
Oh,
it was
okay. Oh,
greater
okay.
than.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. So for the kiddos, I think that you can get a moped license, but it has to be under 125 cc.
Uh,
But if you are an adult, I don't think you have to have a license unless it goes over that 125 cc.
okay. Okay.
And I
Because
think
like,
different states are different on that. Is I know where we lived, there were a lot of liquor sickles.
Yeah, and that's what I was referring to. Is like they didn't go that fast because they could not get a license.
Yeah, they lost their license. They lost their driving privilege for most likely a Dewey, and um, but you didn't have to have a license to ride a small scooter. Um, but I think that there's an allowance for underage people to get a license to be able to ride a small motorcycle. At least I am like 90% sure that is the case for the state that I live in.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I know I know up until probably the 90s, the late 1900s, you could get a farm driver license. So if you were performing farm duties, you could drive at 15 by yourself.
Hmm.
But you had to be in a farm vehicle. It had to be tagged as a farm vehicle. And you're limited to how far away from the farm you can be on a public road with them. And I saw something here recently um, with the Department of Education. Uh, there used to be a law that if a high schooler rode their horse to school, that the principal had to feed and water the horse.
Really?
Yeah, and I've seen this in three different places now, and each one it's the exact same story, different states. So one of them was North Carolina, one of them was Montana, and then one of them was like Santa or Arizona or something like that. So I've seen the exact same story from
Ah,
three different states. So internet stories, take them as they are. But it said that kids found out about this, so they rode their horses to school, and the principal actually did take care of the horses while they were in school.
that's great. I love
Yeah.
that. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Proper Scoundrels podcast.
Yeah,
Please
we are coming to you live from Lincoln, North Carolina.
please like, subscribe, and leave us a comment about what you'd like to see next, and let it be Davros to learn how to pronounce things because that's not how you pronounce things.
I just know that when I was in Apalachicola, that I learned how to read stuff.
You're so full of shit. God Almighty.
Yeah. And I was educated in a little town called Bay St. Louis. It was right next to Gautier.
A town called what?
Bay St. Louis. It was right next to Gautier and Gulfport, Mississippi. Oh no, it was actually in Pass Christian.
I really hate you some days.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.